Thank you, Angel, and welcome aboard, everyone. It is Thursday, thumping Thursday, or I don't know. Think of something that goes with Thursday. I never could actually. Yeah, it's the last day of the week, the last day of the trading week, anyway, and this show, and it's great to have you on board as always. I will have a look and see if we're going to trade the pound as a breakout today. Oh, that shouldn't happen. G'day, John. G'day, Jaira. How are we doing? Tough week so far, I've got to say. Finding it very, very difficult to get into anything quality. And having a look at the pounds, we kind of broke out of that range yesterday, but snuck back in it. Okay, I think we're in range, so I'm good to go. We will trade the breakout of the high of that bar, and we'll trade the breakout of the low of that bar. Look at the dreadful place it's in, but the weekly pivot has been broken, rebroken. So I haven't got the fear that I would normally have of an untested weekly pivot. So let's dive in, shall we? Goodness me, I've got all these order boxes up here. I won't need that one. I will, well, it's actually a pretty tight little area here, isn't it? I'll put the number up anyway. If it changes, it changes. The entry for the long will be 1.3785. 1.3785. And the stop loss for the long will be at one. Just throws me up a random number. Why? 1.3766. Now that, of course, is unless the high is taken out, or for that matter, the low is taken out of this bar. The sell will be underneath that one, and it will be at 1.3763. If I sound funny, guys, I've got a lump on my tongue. I don't know whether it's an ulcer or I've bitten it or something during my sleep, but it's very uncomfortable, I've got to say. Now I've forgotten the number. Why do I distract myself? 1.3763 and 75. $3,763 and $3,765. I'll just leave it at that until 1 minute and 45 seconds passes and we have an open. Yeah, look, Paul, I agree. It has been a little bit crazy. We've had a few reversals and key reversals yesterday. Wow, did they work or not? We'll go through those in a minute. You've been dealing with burst water pipes. Oh, no. That's no fun. That's no fun at all. I've been bursting with one stop loss on dollar Sing so far this week. And, of course, I forced a stop loss on Euro Kiwi when it was going against us. I think that turned out to be a pretty good move, didn't it? Euro Kiwi. Yep, that would have been a loss had we not taken out. Am I out of pound Kiwi yet? My God. Been in this for 5 weeks. And now we're back at entry. Didn't see this coming, I've got to say. But guess what? Last time we got in here, pretty much the same thing happened. Was it that long ago? Yeah, probably. Maybe even this long ago. No, we would have got something else. No, that was the last time we got in. I can't remember. We didn't get to our target anyway. And then it came back and took our trailing stop. It looks like that's going to be the case as well today. All right, let's go back to the pound and see what's going on. So those numbers are going to be right. So let's put the buy in first. Once again, unproven system this, so do not trade it with any money any meaningful money anyway. You might want to try a micro lot or two, but that's fine. 1.3785 and 1.3766. Okay. Long is in the market. Let's put the short in. $1.3763 and 1.3. No, that can't be right. 1.3763 looks right, but the stop loss is not right that I've got there. Hang on 2 secs. I'll make that. I'll guess at it. Looks like I might not have to as we go long here. 3775. Does that make more sense? As I say, I don't think we need worry anyway. In fact, 3784, 37845, 37846. I'm guessing the spreads have taken me in at this point, but not 100% sure on that. Come on, burst through there. TP1, mind you, will be pretty fast, I would imagine, if we're going to get it. 19 pips becomes 9, so we're looking at 1.3794 for TP1. There you go, that's through entry now, surely. I won't bother placing the short. Okay, 1.3794, which is about there. Okay, so we've got to get a wriggle onto that number and then take half off the table and move our stop loss 9 pips from entry, which hopefully will get us underneath the daily pivot. We shall see. I'll just hang in here for a bit in case that does get a move on and take us to TP1 so we can actually grab it. And then I'll go through, might go through first up the very interesting scenario yesterday where we had a bunch of key reversal bars. I think I pointed out in the show. I certainly did in the Telegram group. And boy, oh boy, had you traded those, you would have had a bonzer of a time. Now, so much so that I think I'm going to have to reassess trading black bars short and white bars long on that particular scenario, because they just catapulted and would have been a pretty decent old reward. Obviously, you wouldn't have traded all of them because they were highly correlated, as key reversals will tend to be, but there were some good ones, in particular on the pound pairs. I think, well, I'll wait. I think pound Aussie was one, pound CAD was the other, I think, that were really, really good. But I'll save that speculation until we get there. Today, 2, 4, 6. I've got 6 pairs on my list, put 2 orders in the market, and one of them immediately went in the opposite direction. So a generous application of price action repellent from me. Pretty good at that. The good part about that, of course, is our insurance bar assures us that we don't get taken into that trade. But I don't think there was much to spare on the other one. I haven't looked at it for a while. I've been upgrading my website because it's a rainy day here. I suppose I've had one little eye on my charts. But okay, as soon as I go away from here, you know what's going to happen, don't you? And then I'll miss it, and then I'll get the SH1Ts. All right, I'm going to move. We're getting away from here. I'm going to go to where? Pound CAD first up, because that's one of the orders that I put in the market this morning. Now, this was one that didn't charge off yesterday, interestingly. For what reason, I have no idea, but it's kind of against my grain here to take this, but when I saw that bar there, That is a key reversal bar on Tuesday, followed by an inside bar yesterday. The direction of the trend is arguable, of course. That's the monthly chart that we're looking at. You could argue long-term bull. You could argue long-term bear, but that has been broken at some stage. Tough to call. I guess we're in an uptrend at the end of the day. Certainly the intermediate trend is short. So on that basis, I was willing to have a crack. And here's what I see. As I say, key reversal bar on the weekly pivot, followed up by an inside bar. So we're going to take that one. And the entry, if you want to follow it, is on the board, pound CAD 1.7220, with a stop loss at 1.7335 and a TP1 of 1.7189. G'day, Ash.
Hello, mate. How's things?
Holy dooly, he's there. Yeah, good. Everything's fine.
Awesome.
No dramas.
Awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, it's interesting actually. The Coinbase IPO kicked off yesterday, which was
it did too.
Yeah, a bit of a wild ride, and I thought the price action on Bitcoin was quite intriguing. It continues to push to the upside currently. I don't know if you want me to share a screen or whether you've still got stuff to go through, but
we'll come back and go through my stuff. You were on limited time today, so
okay, fantastic. All right, well let's have a look at this, because I thought this was potentially quite significant. The big issue. What's going on there? What have you got? You know what that? Am I sharing screen? No, not yet. There we go.
There you is.
Yeah, the big issue is the reason. I can't think of a reason at this stage that Bitcoin would be dropping, but indications on the technicals suggest that there's some downside coming. And as always, it's difficult to know, firstly, if the downside is coming, but maybe more importantly, how deep the dip's going to be. With Bitcoin, with Coinbase starting an IPO, it really does bring cryptocurrencies into the common man's realm. And maybe that's enough to kind of cap it. I don't know. Maybe the fact that we're not
quick. I wasn't quick enough.
What?
I can't think of it. I was just about to go the fanfare for the common man, but I can't bring it to mind. The tune won't come.
There won't be a quiz today. Actually, there won't be a quiz today because
could be.
You're
short of time.
Yeah,
no, there won't be.
I'm short of time.
Well, there's the first answer.
Okay, so we'll have to pick that up next week. But so let's just have a look at it. So this is what's been going on. Now it held this level, pretty well so far, but you can see that this move is pretty steep, and that looks like a bit of a channel in there. We are definitely at the lower end of the channel. So on a technical picture, where's the technical picture? We continue to make fresh highs on Bitcoin, and the Coinbase listing has certainly been perceived as a positive for Bitcoin. But I wonder with a Coinbase IPO whether now this really does bring it, as I said, into the realms of the everyday person. I shouldn't say man, really, because obviously there's very successful ladies also trading cryptocurrencies. But the everyday person is now able to get involved in this stuff. Now, I wonder whether that might be something to bring it down. I don't know, but there's no real kind of news drivers, which makes it tricky. But look at the bars. I mean, just going back to 2019, small body, a little bit bigger. That would have been seen at the time probably as quite an extreme sell-off. But then we just get these bars which just open up the legs of this cryptocurrency, this specific cryptocurrency, and every single one is just huge. Pretty much every bar would engulf all of these in a single week, and another kind of big bar of range. There's just a lot of range on this, which is possibly showing. I mean, obviously there's a lot of buying going on here, but there's not very much selling going on at all. But I wonder whether the Coinbase IPO might encourage some people to trade this a little bit more or not, because that they are able to get involved and possibly take some short positions. We would need to see this down at the low end of its range by the end of tomorrow for me to be really convinced that there's a decent drop down in Bitcoin. But I'm never comfortable. I don't like price action where there's been no test, of any level. And that's the thing here. Usually you'd see something, a test of something, but there's just been no test. If we say that's the breakout point, it might even be a little bit lower. There's no test there. There's a breakout there. Okay, we could say that's the high. Let's go with a high instead of the closing. I prefer closing personally, but let's go with a high. No test there. So there's been a few areas. Another one here. Few areas that you'd sort of you could probably say that there is a area of resistance, an area of resistance that's been taken out but not retested, and that's my issue with it. I think that might be a weekend gap there. Yeah, that looks like a bit of a weekend gap. So that probably isn't a gap because the people are able to trade over the weekend. But it does concern me a bit. It does concern me a bit about the price action to the upside. Now, I bought some Argo blockchain yesterday as a share, and what I thought was quite interesting, and this isn't something that I'm saying to people, go out and have a look at Argo blockchain because it's a decent buy. But what I thought was quite interesting with Argo blockchain yesterday, and I've seen this with the gold miners as well. I tend to see this little kind of hint on what's going on with the gold miners. I'm just going to bring in a chart of Argo blockchain here. There we go. Look at this on Argo blockchain yesterday. And actually, forget yesterday. Let's just look at the price action on Argo blockchain generally. This is from March, February. This is a daily chart. So this is really starting in the middle of February. And where we've seen Bitcoin continue to move to the upside, Argo blockchain has been moving down. And it's a bit like a gold miner and the gold price, how it's reacted. But really, I thought this was quite significant. What's been going on with Argo Argo blockchain, where it's just fallen off again. And okay, yeah, we're having a bit of a boost today, and we are on an area of support here. But similar to Bitcoin, where we haven't seen tests of certain levels, this makes me a little bit nervous. There's a gap here that I'd be a lot more comfortable if that gap got closed at 140. Now, I don't know whether it does come down there. You can definitely see there is some support in here, but there is also this triangle that we got going on, and if it breaks the downside, then I suggest that there is probably some selling that would come in. Argo blockchain is not going to have the Reddit crowd. I wouldn't have thought. This is probably slightly more sophisticated, probably a slightly more sophisticated crowd. It's a complete guess, but I would suspect it's a bit more of a sophisticated crowd. Why are they selling when Bitcoin's price continues to go higher? And I wonder whether there might be an assumption that Bitcoin actually is going to drop down on the people that are trading shares in this particular stock. Which is very well linked to Bitcoin, and that's what's been going on with Bitcoin. It's continued to go higher. Yesterday's bar, okay, not really a reversal bar. It did seem to be a little bit negative, but it's a spinning top, which shows indecision. I think what I'm taking from this is the fact that you're getting indecision on the launch of the IPO on Coinbase, which everybody was predicting was going to be the next surge to the upside. So far, that hasn't happened. That doesn't mean it won't happen, but so far that hasn't happened. So I've got my eyes on this one, mate. I wonder whether we might see just a bit of downside in some of these cryptocurrencies. It was Ethereum's actually continued to push higher today, so nothing to look at there. But XRP did start to drop down again. Huge moves in XRP. XRP has been one of the outperformers of the major coins since the start of the year. And again, a lot of indecision up here. as this possibly eases to the downside. But Bitcoin Cash did float to the upside as well, so maybe not anything significant there, but I'm keeping my eye on it anyway. Let's get to gold. Also quite interesting with gold, where it looked to me like gold might come down a little bit further. Gold held, and this starts to look much more like a buying opportunity. You know, we went through. It's come back and retested. I mean, what do you think of that as a potential entry there, mate? Above that selling bar, that one there. Well, maybe you've shot off. You might have shot off somewhere. But when you get back, I will ask you about this one. But
I'm talking to you. Just
sorry.
No microphone on. That's all.
Okay.
Well, I would have preferred the first one, really.
This one here.
The one that the first retest of the trend line.
This one here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so you want an entry
long
above
there.
that?
Yeah. But I don't know that I would, because I still want to see a bigger pullback, frankly, and the monthly pivot seems to be the target.
Right. Yeah.
There's another way to look at that. You could trade the green bar 2 back.
Yeah.
You could trade that short. I could trade that short.
Yeah. Is it an OCO potentially?
There's an idea. You've got a key reversal bar. What chart are you on? Daily.
Daily. Yeah.
Key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. Yep. That's a long.
Yeah.
Definitely. Exactly where you are.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it? I don't know what we got necessarily again as a driver today, but gold is certainly holding. It's looking like it's holding its own right now. So quite like what's going on with that. The other one, let's just have a quick look at silver and see how that compares. Yeah, that's also edging its way to the upside, and it really is looking like an inverted head and shoulders, just waiting to form here. So at the top end there, it would probably get quite interesting. The dollar has not yet managed to catch a bid to the upside, but it's still holding. It's still in an uptrend. It's still potentially holding structure. And again, looks like a pretty nice head and shoulders pattern waiting to form if it gets down to this neckline. So dollar to potentially turn at 91.90. And the other trade that I'm in and I'm sticking with is the Aussie Yen, which actually has produced quite a nice. It produced a pretty good signal for some upside yesterday. Our conversation yesterday about volume would show you that this bar has got some pretty good volume. So definitely buying going on here with the Aussie, and I suspect this is probably going to go higher. But my idea with this one, my strategy with this one is to hold on to it until this next level. So I'm interested in selling again at 88. My idea would be that that at some point it's going to come back and retest something, and it hasn't either tested anything. So very similar to Bitcoin, where we've seen no retests on the Aussie Yen. So I'm interested in taking this with no leverage and just continue to ease into it, and I'll ease into it probably right at the way to 100 if I have to, but. This is a longer term play. I think it's going to be looking quite difficult to pick the high with the Aussie Yen, possibly. But the pattern here, which is why I'm not convinced 100% about the buying, is a bit of a head and shoulders. It's getting a little bit longer over here on the right shoulder. So it's starting to negate that particular pattern, but it still does have that head and shoulders look and feel about it. So I'm just looking to see whether the Aussie does start to come down a little bit more. Possibly I might close this position if it starts to take, go further to the upside and reopen again at the highs. But I might just stick with it. So they are really going around the grounds what I'm after. I will quickly bring in Forex Factory and have a look at. It does, doesn't it, Lewis? I don't know whether it's going to hold. I still think it's interesting, the Aussie Yen. I'm still short with it, but unemployment change out of Australia was positive, and the unemployment rate as well is dropping. So the fundamentals certainly today would not suggest that we've got a short in the Aussie, and there might be something larger that needs to take place if we're going to see an Aussie sell-off currently, because things are okay, you know, and this is we're in a very I feel like we're in a bit of a, I don't know if overconfident is the right phrase, mate, but we're very comfortable with the markets at the minute. You know, the FTSE 100 is, what's that?
Are you? That's good.
Yeah. Well, not me. I'm not talking about me personally. What I'm saying is that the traders seem to be quite comfortable with the bullish aspect of the market. You know, the buy side of the market. If we think about all the things that all suggest growth, the Aussie's going up. WTI is continuing to push to the upside. These indices, you know, the FTSE 100 continues to kind of like push to the upside and make some highs. The Nasdaq broke through these levels here the other day and made some fresh highs. The S&P is you know, continuing to drag its way up. Interesting with the S&P, where the bars are getting slow. You know, the buying is slowing down. Nothing more explosive up there. The VIX is just dropping off a cliff. You know, it's becoming almost uncomfortably comfortable. if that's possible.
Must be time to pay attention then.
I would have thought so. You know, the question is, what's going to drive it down? I think JP Morgan reported yesterday, and they reported some really solid numbers, and I think it's inevitable that earnings season will probably be pretty good. There might be some slight misses, but as the economies open back up again, then you would suspect there's probably going to be some growth, and there's no suggestion at this stage that monetary policy is going to curb any of that. I think it's interesting that gold is holding in some respects, because monetary policy doesn't seem to be curbing it. But yeah, it's all quite comfortable at the minute. So yeah, you're probably right. Maybe it is time to pay attention, but doesn't appear to be the time to trade that. You know, trade the shorts. It's just a time to go, okay, fine. If you got positions, maybe sort of get things at break even or better. I'm not sure if I'd want to add to things. I think letting things run at this stage is probably the best possible option, rather than adding at these potentially lofty levels. I don't know if they're lofty or not, but certainly things look pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I've actually run out this week. We've gone a few trailing stops have been hit, which is not what I was expecting. Actually, we're on a pretty good roll on pound Kiwi. That's just about out at the moment, I think. A winner, but should have been a bigger one.
Yeah.
Euro Kiwi, we had to cut short earlier in the week, and that's reversed. So those two are having an issue. Dollar Sing, as you know, we had a miss on that on Tuesday. I'm finding it very, very difficult to get anything with traction. You know, it's just not happening.
But yeah. Well, I'm
no damage.
I'm with you, mate. I mean, you know, the Aussie Yen hasn't worked out for me as yet, and I suppose one of the reasons I'm holding on to it is that I'm a little bit. I've got a little lack of trust in the fact that that it is also bullish and also comfortable at the minute. I think there could be something in the, you know, a change coming. It might be another few weeks. I wonder whether we might get an actual sell in May and walk away this year. We tend not to get it, but I wonder whether we might actually get that particular phrase this year, and we do see a little bit of weakness coming in May.
It's prime for it, isn't it? Yeah, the Nasdaq in particular.
Yeah,
really prime for it.
It is, and we've had Gordon Scott say, well, I can't remember if he said the 20th of May, but he's actually pinpointed a date in May that he believes that there will be a change coming. And
14th, they were telling me.
14th of May. Yes. So we're looking a month away before any downside from predictions. And that does mean that, you know, there's still some room to go higher, but it's just slowing down. Things are just slowing down just a little bit. It's almost the calm before the storm. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe this time it's different, mate.
Of course, absolutely. you can put your house on it. It's going to be different.
Yeah. Fortunately, change of what? A change of sentiment.
There's TP1 on the pound, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You took a pound trade this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Good work. Good work. Yeah, so that's where I am. I don't know if anybody else is in the room is trading anything. I don't know if you want to take a screen and go around the grounds. It's entirely up to you, mate. But
Yeah, look, I really wanted to point out that I bang on all the time about key reversal bars, and we did a bit of a session on it yesterday in the Telegram group. I'm not sure we did it in this show, but I just wanted to point out exactly what happened yesterday with those key reversal bars before I go into today. Well, I started with today, and Jaira's asked me a question on pound CAD. Where's the trend line or trade line? No, not at all, Jaira. This is not a slingshot setup. This is a free trade. It's exactly what I've just described to you. It's a key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. When I see that on a daily chart, when it's with the primary trend, that's just something I trade, right? So that's just a freestyler. I'm actually going to, I think in October, I've got I haven't really decided what I'm going to call it yet, but maybe it's slingshot freestyle, something like that. Because outside of the strategy, I've adopted quite a few different scenarios in terms of entries and indeed trade management. So that's going to happen in October, I think, maybe even November. I think I was summoned to that area at some stage. So I'll try and adopt all of those things into this show before that happens, if you're paying attention. But yeah, that's what this is. It's a key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. Now, it's also a beautiful tweezer top if it was sitting up here, but it's not sitting up here. It's sitting here. The fact that it's on the weekly pivot adds to its flavor, I suppose. But tweezer tops are at tops, and this is the top of nothing. So I'm not trading it as a tweezer top. I'm trading it as a key reversal and an inside bar. Speaking of which, as I said before, and the other one was Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi, I've got an order long above this bar here, but I put my stops well clear of the swing. Interestingly, DS1 is holding price up at the moment. For that reason, I'm just going to leave this order in the market, despite the fact that it hasn't gone through the stop loss. Just got that little bit of feeling in my bones that this is going to work out. It really is a false break that I'm playing. You can take your pick which trade line you want to use, but that one will do. You could also use that flat one through there, where we've had a breakthrough of not only the trade line, but the range that we were in. So we've broken the bottom of the range. Then we snuck back inside it, and then we retested the bottom of everything. Of course, the first 4-hour bar or the second 4-hour bar of the day put a bit of a dampener on that one, but no entry at this point. But I'm going to leave it there for a little bit and see what happens. Of course, this could now disappear. We've, after all, got a double top, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So potential for this to keep going short is absolutely and definitely there. So to the point I wanted to make, which was the key reversal bars of yesterday. And I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 key reversal bars yesterday. Let's see how they fared. This is daily chart, right? So pound Aussie was the first of them. And there was your key reversal bar right there, beautifully on the pivots. Bang, smashed it. The next one was pound CAD. That's the one that we're just looking at. Absolutely done nothing. That kind of concerns me a little bit, but it does give me, and this was what I was trying to explain yesterday to David, I think it was. There's a relative strength indicator right there. If the pound is not going short yesterday versus the CAD, and it hammered the Aussie, or the Aussie hammered it, there's a relative strength indicator for you right there. That means that the Aussie is way, way stronger than the CAD. I think I pointed that out yesterday anyway. The third of these was pound Kiwi. And just like pound Aussie, pound Kiwi went kabang. There's your key reversal bar. Double top key reversal bar.
I'll be back in a tick, mate.
Yeah, sure, mate. So that's the way that went. That was pound Kiwi. The next was Euro CAD. And Euro CAD has not done anything yet. There is your key reversal bar right there. No entry on Euro CAD at this point. So no damage, but no money either. Pound Swissy. Pound Swissy, come on. Key reversal bar right there and an inside bar. Now, this is exactly what I'm trading on pound CAD, right? This one's probably even better because it's got a bigger body. The thing that I don't like about it is that it's trading straight into the low of the week. Now, this could smash through here and go to hell and back, but I figured that pound CAD was a better prospect than was this one. Of course, you could, if you wanted to trade this, of course, you could split the risk across pound CAD and pound Swissy if you so chose. The next one was pound yen, and pound yen, key reversal bar right there. Nothing really has happened. It has triggered, but no price action. Very, very similar to the one we're trading, pound CAD. The next one was US dollar, Canadian dollar. There's your key reversal bar. Hasn't really smashed it, but it is certainly headed in that direction. You'd want to be wary of that around about this level. This is actually very interesting because it may well be a little bit of a clear out. I'll see. I'll be watching this very closely, and if it does put in a higher low here based on the bullish engulfing bar, I may look to trade that long. But at this point in time, the key reversal bar has just done exactly what key reversal bars do. Dollar Sing was the next one. Dollar Sing, key reversal bar. There it is. Smashed it once again. And the others were gold and silver. Gold, key reversal bar there. Hasn't been entered at this point, but may well, inside bar there as well. As I said to Ash, key reversal, inside bar across the pivots. Wow. If I'm a gold trader, I'm interested in that, taking profit there. Your first profit there anyway to get safe in the market. And of course, the last one was silver. And silver, key reversal bar, lower than the previous bar, closed on or near its high. It's on its way as well. So there's not one failure there out of all of those. And like I said, had you chosen to trade one or a few of those, spreading your risk across them, of course, because they're very similar trades, you would have done particularly well. I know I bang on about key reversal bars a lot, but I think I've just given you a reason why. It had a hell of a day yesterday. Now today, Ash has got to go shortly, so we'll just say goodbye to him when he comes back. What's the pound doing? I'll have a look at that. It's just stopped on TP1, hasn't it? I haven't moved my stop loss. What was it? 9 pips. 9 pips from 37.85 is 37.76, yeah? Yes. 37.76. There we go. Right, so that's done. Now today, pound Swissy, and we've probably already had a look at a few of these. There's pound Swissy there. Pound Swissy key reversal and inside bar. Look, given what I've just shown you, it's probably worth a shot. But here's 2 reasons why I didn't take this. And as with all things, you must have context around these things. There's no point just saying, okay, I've got a key reversal bar, I've got a tweezer topper, I've got a bullish engulfing bar, or whatever the case may be. If it's out of context, you need to be aware of that. And this is out of context. Why? Because there's been absolutely no pullback. We've got an untested weekly pivot sitting here. And I would be more confident that price is going here before it goes there than would be the reverse. So I think on a probability scale, I'd much rather not trade that today. And that's the reason I haven't. CAD Yen, I better go back to here because I haven't got all these charts up. CAD Yen. CAD Yen is exactly the same scenario. Well, not exactly, but it is a key reversal bar from Tuesday and then an inside bar. This is exactly the upside down version of pound CAD, right? As you would expect. The issue here is only the weekly pivot. But if you wanted to trade the inside bar, which is quite acceptable and per the rules of trading key reversals and inside bars, then you just enter above the bar and put your stop loss below it. The risk to reward here, or the reward to risk, as I put it, is 58 to say 19. It's right on the cusp of where I like it to be, which is 1/3 of the risk. I don't know why I didn't. Well, I do know why I didn't take that. I don't like. No, I don't know why I didn't take that. Maybe I should have. I'm going the opposite. Oh, it's the same trade. It's the same trade. That's why. Pound CAD and CAD Yen are exactly the same trade. One upside down, of course, in my opinion. Euro Aussie was the next. Now, I'm a big fan of Euro Aussie. And wow. Too late. She cried. That was last week. Better get rid of that. So Euro Aussie was setting up perfectly as a false break. It actually didn't do that in a timely fashion. What I really like it to do in a timely fashion is, and this is going to be really interesting for you guys. You need to have a look at this. There's the true trade line. Okay. So this is actually a perfect retest of the false break area. Interesting. But here's the more interesting bit. On the support trade line, it hasn't quite broken through there. It has now, of course, suggesting that this has played out to perfection, the false break, apart from those two little indecisive bars. Really what you want with the false break is that bar to be the next bar after the break. So you want 1, 2, 3, nice and clean. You don't really want anything in between. It's okay, but it's not ideal. So now we're at the monthly pivot. This could go either way, in my humble opinion. You can see the market structure that we've got has been broken out to the high side. Now a false break. I'm not discounting the potential for this to go back above this trade line, maybe hit the pivots and come back here, which would give us a false break going the opposite direction. Wow, that's really interesting and confusing. You want to be on your toes to trade that. But this could now smash away, of course. It looks to me very much like a market sentiment chart or the sentiment cycle chart. So I'm not dismissing anything at this point. If I was to get a reversal bar here, I think I'd be inclined to go long. I really do. Interesting, Euro Aussie. Pound CAD was the next one that I was looking at. We've spoken about that. We've got an order in the market on Pound CAD. Looks like it might be about to trigger.
Sorry, mate, I better run.
You've got to go, buddy. Yep. Okay, cool.
Sorry, mate. All right. See you guys. I'll see you next week. Thanks, mate.
Have a good one, mate. Catch you later. Righto, that was Ash. And saying goodbye. He came back to say goodbye. It's nice of him. Pound CAD, you've got the numbers for that, right? Kiwi CAD. I thought this was an excellent scalping opportunity, and it still may be. But if you scalped it like I said yesterday, if it touches the level and you want to scalp from there, boy, gee, you're taking a massive risk. You've got to get something that tells you that this is about to go in the opposite direction. And at this point in time, I don't have that. Got a key reversal bar there on what, about a 4-hour chart, doesn't work. I've got to wait till we get underneath this monthly pivot again and maybe test the daily pivot, then come back and retest that area before I'd think about it. But if it does, I think that's a great trade, great trading opportunity on Kiwi CAD. And finally, Aussie Kiwi, which you know about, and trying to fight its way back here. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to leave it in the market, and the false break, whilst it is now labouring, it's taking a long time to get there. It may well do so. Not as keen as I was this morning because of that bar, but oftentimes, this is just another clean out, taking some stops and away she goes. We'll see. The market structure here, of course, is giving you a very, very mixed scenario. You've got a double top sitting here. You've got a lower low, lower high, lower low. If we can get to the lower high at weekly pivot, then we've got a TP1 in the bank. And if it does now go with the bigger trend, which is long, right? Well, not higher high there, higher high there, higher high, equal high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, potential higher low. So longer the stronger, maybe. We'll see. Now, I saw some comments. Gyro, I took a long Euro Aussie after it break and retest the weekly pivot to go up to the top of H4 range and then to W1 range. W1 up here somewhere. Okay, so you were going on which chart, Gyro? I can totally see where you're going with it, break, retest. Well, I tried to enter there, didn't I? When did I trade that? It's 2 weeks ago. Last week. We got a TP1, didn't we? And that was it. I can't remember. The W1 range. Okay. Weekly range. Gotcha. Okay, now with you. Right. Okay. So this looks good, right? This looks okay. Don't mind this at all. So we've been hanging around here. We've got a double bottom. We've got a retest of the breakout level here with this bar. And now we've got a retest of the bottom of the channel. This looks like a false break, does it not? Does it look like that on a daily chart? Yeah. Opposite direction, eh? Crazy stuff. But look what's happening. Double bottom, higher low, higher high. Sorry, higher high, higher low, higher high. Bounce off monthly pivot. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. And again, I think as I pointed out, for the last 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, we are still inside this bar here. The bar that bounced off the week, the big ascending channel, this one here. Let me go wider. Look, it's such a great bounce point, isn't it? Kaboom, kaboom, bounce, long time up there. Bang, we're there again. You've really got to be expecting a bounce here. Resistance, support. Got to be looking for a long, just got to be. And I don't mind that bar on the weekly chart. If that closes as is, I'll definitely be looking to trade that come Monday. I like it a lot. A little bit more difficult on the daily, but watch this space. If this gets above, even on the smaller time frame, did I go through this earlier? I can't remember. Even on the smaller time frame, if this gets back above that trade line after it's bounced off the monthly pivot, look out. It'll go, in my opinion. So you can see exactly where we are. When price hang around at certain key areas, they are building up the pressure for break. Yeah, absolutely. I recall on Tuesday, I think it was, we spoke about, it might have been Monday, the Aussie, right? And we were talking about the Aussie, and we said we've got a very clear head and shoulders here, right? We've come to the bottom. We've broken the neckline, which is where we traded it. If you'll recall, we only got a TP1 and then got break-even trade out of that. But look how many times. See, that should have gone straight away, or expect a retest. Yes, get that. Retested it, went, but only to the bottom of the now new range, which is the channel. Then it came back, couldn't get back above here, hit resistance again in the monthly pivot and the top of the channel. Back here, couldn't go low, trying to convert the head and shoulders. And what did we say on Monday or Tuesday? I can't remember when it was. If it's not converting the head and shoulders, it's potentially doing something else. And it's set up beautifully on a 4-hour chart right here with that bar there. Apart from the fact that you're trading into the weekly pivot, which had been broken and retested, so it's not that fearsome, as I said. Yeah, in the right place at the right time, you pick that up on the 4-hour chart, and away you go. And I think that's really worth thinking about. Essentially, it's a range trade as well, because we've got a higher low, right? On the 4-hour chart, there's your higher low off the base. And there was another one there, which would have been a problematic one. Again, trading into a pivot. But if that fails, you've got to be able to follow up with this one. And you get the cash. So I think the lesson from that is very clear. And pardon me, if you see a absolutely clear market structure that the whole world sees, right? It's not you and me that see these things. It's the whole trading world sees this head and shoulders. And when I saw that bar there, a dominator trade, right? Traded at the bottom of it, but got to take profit at the low, which we did, and got a break-even trade. And then it just fizzled around and didn't convert this, didn't convert the head and shoulders. You've got to start to think that something else is going on. Whatever that something else is, and it's turned out to be the unemployment figures now that's driving the Aussie, I assume. That's all it took. And maybe the market was just waiting for that to happen. And when it happens, there you go. There's your acceleration. So you've got to be paying attention at the right time, haven't you? Otherwise, it just gets away on you and really does give you the SH12s at the end of the day when that happens, because you're fully ready for it, you're aware of it, and suddenly you wake up in the morning and already gone, right? How are we going with the pound trade? Why have I got 2 stop losses? Or was that just a horizontal? Oh, that was my TP1, right? Okay, got it. TP2 on this, if you're interested, is at 1 point. Didn't even work it out, did I? What was the risk? 19, so 38 onto there makes that 24, right? 38.24, which is 38.24, right about there. Oh, above monthly pivot. You'd want to be taking it monthly pivot, would you? So Jira, yes, when price hangs around at certain key areas, they are building up pressure for a great breakout, correct? And we now know why. And that's why I keep saying to you on Euro Aussie and Euro Kiwi was the other one, wasn't it? Yeah. Euro Kiwi, interestingly, if you have a look where that is, well, it's got a white line there. I don't need to put that in, but look at that level there. It's Thursday, right? And it would be very, very normal for me to walk away from the charts now with not putting any more trades in the market. But by gee, I see some things going on here at the moment. And this is one of them. This, like I said at the time, this is a massive signal. Retrace. Another massive signal. Retrace. Didn't take out the highs. Don't know why. But until we get below that level there, I'm still going to trade this. And it would not surprise me in the least if this happens. It's already begun. Around there somewhere. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if we get that sort of price action starting. Eventually it'll break to the high side, in my humble opinion, but I can't trade that yet until I get this level hit. We get back above the trade line and go like that, or on any time frame. That could happen easily. What else have I got for you? All those key reversals. Did anybody trade any of those key reversals in the room, by the way? Yes, very much similar to Euro Aussie, for no unremarkable circumstance, Lewis. Aussie and Kiwi are pretty much pigeon pairs, aren't they? At the end of the day, they seem to follow each other, which makes it really interesting when you're trading Aussie Kiwi, because, and I like to think that it's a ranging pair, and primarily it is, but it gets these little fits and starts. And I think, as I said before, when Aussie Kiwi, certainly in the last, well, it's not 10 years, it's getting close to 10 years, let's say 7 or 8 years, in this ranging scenario, as soon as it hits 110 or beyond, you start to looking for shorts. And as soon as it gets anywhere near parity, you start looking for longs. So it's a really easy pair once it's at those extremes, Aussie Kiwi. You just, because it doesn't go outside that area, certainly not in the last 8 years or so. And historically, it's actually been an incredible, well, since 2004 anyway, it's actually been an incredible bull run for the Aussie against the Kiwi. And then where was that? 2010, for some unknown reason. I can't remember why that is. 2011. It just went smash. Why did that happen? I can't remember. I should know. It's Antipodean, and I'm in the Antipodes, so I should know that. So here's another reason why I want to go long Aussie Kiwi, because we are coming off the bottom of that range. We put in a higher high, we put in a higher low. We're now looking for a higher high. Maybe I'm early with this. Maybe it has to settle down a little bit, and then we go above that bar. I'm not sure, but I thought this was the right time. We will see. Could turn into a false break of that support trade line, but you've got to give due deference to the chart pattern as well. We do have a double top. We do have a lower high. We do lower high, and now another lower low. So you've got to pay homage to that, I suppose. Be interesting to calculate the difference in return on investment in both. The trades, Lewis, yes. Firstly, they've got to win, I suppose, but yes, I take your point. Wow, look at Euro Kiwi getting right near a trading area now. Pay attention there. I would suspect that might turn out okay. One thing I haven't done this morning is have a look at Euro dollar. Now, Euro dollar is in an interesting position to me because it is in a little bit of a range up there. Now, we've been speaking about this for the longest time, this channel that we've been in, and we have broken once again to the high side. But look at the horizontal level through here. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And we have no retest of the bottom of the top of the channel. And the problem that you have here is that's what I'd be expecting. I'd be expecting a retracement of some kind here, maybe even back to the trade line or the top of the channel. but I just can't go, all right, magic, here's the level, let's do it. I need more than that. I've got a potential reversal here on H4. That's great. But I would need to see a lower high before I traded. Now, that could easily happen below the daily pivot, back, retest it, lower high, short. H1. Look at that. Beautiful. Little triple top there on H1. Look, they're not as significant. There's no question on the smaller time frames than they are on the bigger. But cheers, Swee. Thank you. Happy trading to you as well. And have a lovely weekend. Catch up next week to you as well. This is starting very much to look like it wants to go and have a little bit of a spell, right? Now, when you're trading 30-minute charts on an intraday basis, you have to take notice of the daily pivot, DS1 and DR1. Why? Especially on euro dollar, because that's where it lives. That really is its stomping ground, if you like. So 2 things to note. We have almost tested DR1 and rejected it at this point, and we're nowhere near DS1. So my thought process is, if I want to trade this, I don't want to trade it long. I want to trade it short. Then we need a reason. Well, I've just given you a reason why you'd want to trade it short, because of this horizontal level and the need for pullback. Then you say, okay, how do I do that? Well, you can trade a candle if you're a candle trader. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be waiting for confirmation of this top by the way of, exactly as I described. Break the daily pivot, come back and retest it, and then go short. There's a far better way to trade short than there is not to trade short, and that is off a resistance level. At this point, we would have to trade it off support, because I don't have a resistance trade line. So I'd have to be looking at either a low test bar sitting there, break and retest. You'd probably have to get rid of these lows as well, if that were to be the case, or wait until you do have a resistance trade line. Maybe that's going to happen on the 30-minute chart. So we go to the 30-minute chart, and all we've got is another support trade line. It's not the end of the world to have it, but it's not the best case scenario. But I'd be pretty happy if we got a break here and came back and retested there, because you've then broken the daily pivot. You've got a retest of the trade line. You've got a potential ABC short, and that would give you a lower high here as well. If you want to wait for that, happy days. The break and retest would do me to go. So that's euro dollar for the day. No intention of trading it long until we have fulfilled the criteria, which is down to here. Hit a former support level, which is right here at DS1. So that's about the only place I'd want to go long this. You can pull out your fibs, you can pull out whatever you want to pull out, but that would be the only place I'd want to go long on euro dollar today. And guys, I think that's just about me done, unless you've got any other questions. We'll call it a day, I think. I think you've got the picture on where I'm headed. Pound CAD has not been triggered yet, but getting very, very close to that. I'm hopeful that will hit TP1 before the day is done. CAD Yen we spoke about. That is same trade, as I said. It's exactly the same trade. Aussie Kiwi was the only other one, right? So look, even if I don't get triggered Aussie Kiwi, 4-hour chart, I'll still be looking for a long Aussie Kiwi. But it's probably got to get back into there now. Yeah, it's not easy. If it breaks this daily level, which it probably has at the moment, which is pretty much where my stop loss is. If it closes below there, I'd definitely cancel the order. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it there. Keep your eye on Euro Aussie. Gee, I think it's in a great, it's really in a good spot. Really in a good spot. It does look like a false break of resistance at the moment. That's true. But if it happened just to come to that level and maybe even take that level out, gee, I'd start to get interested. And even if it gets back above here now and retests it, I'd be really interested as well. Okay, guys, that is all. I need some cash in the bank to get me positive this week. Hopefully there's something there before the end of the day. We will see. Thank you so much for your company throughout the week. And always, we look forward to catching up with you next week as well. And we will see you then. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye for now.